Be very disciplined with your eyes and your keys, big time. You can't see too much. You better have little eyes when you play this bunch, because if you see too much, there's a lot to see when you got the amount of guys that they got in the box sometimes.
Do you think Boston College fits into that image that we have of Northern football, just big offensive line, physical,
Yeah.
have to beat you with the
Yeah,
scheme
I
rather
think
than
so.
the great players everywhere?
I think so. I mean, I think Coach Adazio, I think he relishes that. I mean, that's just kind of his personality. He's an offensive line guy, and a great football coach. He's passionate. I mean, you think about BC, I think about toughness. I mean, I've been going against these guys for a long time now, so I don't know when we started playing them. So I know I was an interim in 08, so probably about 05 or 06. Is that about right? So I mean, when was it? 05. So we've been I've seen these guys a lot, and when I think of BC, that's what I think about: toughness. I think about pride. I think about discipline. I think about physicality. They epitomize all those things. It's a very prideful program, and I just think Coach Adazio has he's just done an awesome job embracing that mindset and that philosophy, and I think he instills that in his players. Just really not surprised at all to see what he's done with that team.
What would it mean to this program to win the division again?
Well, I mean, that would be our 4th division in a row. I don't know that that's been done. So that would be a great accomplishment, especially for this group of seniors that have accomplished just so much already. So it's something that's important to them, and it would mean that we'd have a chance to go to Charlotte and play for a 4th ACC title in a row, which hadn't been done. So it just you got to. You can't win 12 till you win 10. You can't win the ACC till you win the division. It just kind of all builds upon each other, so it just creates more opportunity for this team down the road.
Christian had a big game up there 2 years ago with a sack in the TFL. Does he always get a little bit more amped up for this kind of homecoming for him?
Yeah, he's going to be a captain for us this week. He's excited. I don't know. He's been trying to steal everybody's tickets on the team, so I'm sure he's been successful and got a bunch of them. But, yeah, he's excited. It's kind of one of those games he always looks forward to.
5 weeks ago, everybody was so worried about the quarterback situation.
Say that again?
5 weeks ago, everybody was so worried
Yeah.
about the quarterback situation. And somebody asked me Saturday, with the rise of Chase Bryce and how well he's played and Trevor coming along, do you think you're in a better situation now, quarterback-wise, than you were at the beginning of the year? Or how would you
No, I think we had 3 really good ones at the beginning of the year, and now we got 2. So I think 3's better than 2. I like to have as many good players as I can have. So, but it is what it is. I think we're in a good place, and those guys have done awesome. I mean, they really have. I'm really proud of Trevor. I mean, he's played 9 games and it's just he's not a freshman anymore. I mean, he doesn't walk like one. He doesn't practice like one. He doesn't game plan like one. I mean, he's a veteran player now. And then Chase is kind of, he's played a lot in the last 5 games. This kid has gotten a ton of playing time, and he's done well. About every time he goes in, he moves us, and he's just playing at another level. Same thing on the practice field. I see the same thing. I mean, even just last night, he made a couple plays last night. I mean, it's just, you just see the confidence in him, and we are very fortunate because I think we got 2 guys right now that'll be future pros one day if they stay healthy, and so it's a good situation for us, and very glad, very thankful that both of them have been able to get the type of experience that you'd love to have, especially as you you're going to have some type of postseason opportunity down the road.
Both Allen and Ray are really active on the edge for those guys. What have you guys seen on tape when you look at them and compare them a little bit to Burns and the guys you had last week?
Well, they're bigger Burns is long, but a little leaner kid, lightning fast. These guys are just a little bit more physically stout. They can hold up and do a great job. Rushing the passer, running all their twists. They don't hesitate to bring those guys inside and all that. But they're just active, relentless effort guys. They're very smart players. They recognize things very well. They had that number 7 last year was a great player for him. I don't know when he had to have been drafted high. I don't know the exact round, but it had to be up there high. But they just kind of they know what they're doing, man. They evaluate well, and good technique in rushing the passer. So we've got our work cut out to minimize those guys, for sure.
When it comes to correcting mistakes, you said you had some still that you wanted to correct on Saturday. Is it easier or harder after playing this stretch of games you have to correct those mistakes and have the attention of your team?
I think it's always easier when you're winning to do anything. I prefer doing everything after a win. I don't ever get excited about a loss, but it is what it is. When you have one, you go back to work, and then you challenge and you find out what you're made of, and you learn and you pick yourself up and you go back to work. That's what winners do. There's plenty. Our guys take a lot of pride. It's really not about as much about the scoreboard as it is the pride that everybody has in how they play. That's the buy-in. And, collectively, if you can get everybody committed to that, then the scoreboard will most likely take care of itself. So it's just little things. We come in here and we talk about whether it might be a loaf, we hold them to a high standard. And I come in every Monday and I'm in front of the whole team. If I got anybody loafing, I'm going to call them out on it and make sure they understand, that what the standard is. Same thing that we do as coaches as far as how we grade them with their technique and their fundamentals and their performance and their performance points and so forth. There's a high level of accountability, so there's an edge every week in moving on to the next game, learning from it, but there's always another game, and you got to start over.
Coach, you didn't use Pollard on Saturday. Offensive line, you rushed for nearly 500 yards. The week before, you were without Falcinelli, did what you did at Florida State. This is about as good as the offensive line's been since you've been here. Yeah, and that was something I said back before the season as well. I thought this would prove to be maybe my best offensive line. A lot of versatility. Last year, a lot of this team was developed last year. That's the thing. That's what's happening with us this year. We've been able to play so many guys. Yes, we've developed our team for this year, but we've also developed a next year's team. And that's what happened. This is a result of last year. And a lot of those guys getting an opportunity to play, quite a bit. John Simpson, he played a lot last year. Now Hearn's gone, and here's Big John stepping in, and he's been awesome. Fauci obviously was a first-year starter, but Cervinka got more playing time last year. Obviously Ankrum as a first-year starter, but we've moved guys around. Pollard has played different positions, and we've just created good depth, across the board there. And then throughout this year, like Jackson Carman, I thought played great the other day. Man, I'm so encouraged by what I've seen with him. Bach wasn't able to go. He's had a really good year. He's gotten some good experience. His ankle didn't allow him to play, but it's good. It's encouraging to know that you've got the type of depth you need to sustain, an injury or whatever, for a game. I don't think we've got. Hopefully, we don't have any season-ending type injuries, but we've been able to withstand a game here, a game there, a quarter here, a quarter there.
Do you know if Pollard and Fields will be able to play this week?
Mark looked good last night. They tested him pretty good. He ran him hard, so I think he'll be back in practice today, full go. So hopefully no setbacks there. And then Pollard was good to go Saturday. He's nothing with his wrist or thumb or whatever. He was okay there and ready. he had a spasm on Wednesday, and kind of pulled him out of practice, and he couldn't really do much on Thursday at all. So, but it settled down, and he was definitely ready to play. But like I said, we scored 2 touchdowns in 5 plays, so it was 14-0 pretty quick, and it was a good luxury for us to be able to just not have to play him.
I know it was only, I guess, a week ago when you said that you wanted Travis to be a little more disciplined, a little more patient. Do you feel like, I know it hasn't been obviously a super big sample size, but do you feel like you made progress with that?
He did. There's about 3 plays on tape that are indicative of that, where he did not do a good job the previous week. As far as just patience, setting up his blocks, trusting the scheme, and he did a great job. I mean, I know he only had like 8 carries, but it was good to see him have that time. I mean, he had 150-something yards on 8 carries, but he did a heck of a job. Did a really nice job.